fashion is encouraging quick turnarounds for trends, which is causing excess pollution and terrible working conditions. So what is fast fashion? Fast fashion is all the trends that come and go. Think back on some trends from when you were growing up. Are they still relevant today? Some trends may circle back after 10 years or so, but not many things stick around for long. How has it evolved? The change in fashion trends is inevitable, but it wasn't so much an issue before. In generations prior, clothing was of much higher quality and stayed in style for longer periods of time. The change in trends was not so drastic or quick, so when things ended up in thrift stores, they were more available to less fortunate and would last much longer. Now, trends are turning around much quicker than before. In the past year, we have seen many patterns come in and out of style: bows, cheetah print, leopard print, and polka dots. This causes mass production of these products, which, because companies want to make it the fastest and the cheapest, some companies to steer clear of for any reason are Shein, Temu, Romwe, Cupsheet, and a lot of Amazon resellers are getting pretty bad too. It is important to do your research on companies before buying their products. I'll give evidence to this later on. This causes mass amounts of clothing to end up in landfills and low quality items to flood the secondhand stores. Thrifting. So thrifting has become more of a trend than a way of life. Many people think of this as a way to live a more sustainable lifestyle. However, there are many disadvantages to this now too. Some examples are thrifting is becoming less and less accessible to those who truly need quality clothing at a more realistic price. Because of the quick trend turnaround, low quality clothing is being resold for the same high quality prices. Overconsumption. Thrifters are more inclined to overbuy simply because of the cheaper prices, leading to them taking quality pieces from those who need them and then taking much more than they could ever need anyway. These thrifters have also been known to buy out all the high quality items in a thrift store regardless of price or size, just to double the price and resell it as vintage. Resale. So eBay, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace, etc. We all know and love finding good deals on these sites. However, because of how quickly things are rising in popularity thanks to social media, these resellers will buy out full inventories of a specific product and sell it for at least 3 times the original price. So they're like these like squishy things like toys for kids, and they were being sold only at Aldi, and people were coming in and buying full crates of these toys and reselling them for like $30 when they were retailing for like $4. And they were reselling on eBay. People are buying them. Reselling items can be good and beneficial when done ethically, but going to the store to buy large quantities with the intent to resell is not. Shein. So Shein is a well-known app and website for trendy clothing at a lower price. Unfortunately, it's always too good to be true. In 2026, they are facing multiple lawsuits for shipping violations, toxic products, and data security access being sold to various foreign political parties. Employees of this company typically work at least 70 hours a week, only to be paid a couple cents per item that they finish. My favorite way to put this into perspective is like my grandma knitted all of us a blanket for when we were born, but we didn't get it until we were like 8 or 9. So it takes a long time, and imagine being paid only a couple cents to do that every day. There are open investigations about child labor, safety regulations, and they are soon to be in big legal trouble as they have failed to comply with the laws and code of conduct.
Where are these places? What country?
This one, I believe, is in China. A lot of them are in China.
Yeah, Temu is too, I think.
Yeah, like the more Asian, that kind of
I
thing.
think Eloise.
Yeah.
I'm Rosie Miller.
Okay.
Or your grandma and I.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so a lot of them are in China, and then there was one that was in the US that was not very long ago that was doing the same thing with the laboring and everything, and they're still in trouble for failing to comply with labor laws. And it's because people are wanting to stay here to live more safely. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. Temu is also known for being a discount shop for clothing, furniture, and lifestyle products. They're also facing cybersecurity charges. They have allegedly used safe payment information to make unauthorized purchases, and they also use forced labor from ethnic minorities in China. So, my dad is a big hater of Temu. And, cause he works for some marketing company that does all the marketing for like McDonald's and Olive Garden and stuff. And they had issues where their people have just used their payment information and their email to buy things off of Temu, and then it turns into their whole company getting hacked and passwords and leaking information. So they're really good at what they do. So anytime that you're buying something, this happened on Amazon too, be careful with saving your credit cards and your payment information, because they can go back in and just kind of do whatever
I
they
had a
want.
deal just a couple months ago, I got this bill from a JCPenney credit card.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a JCPenney credit card, never
Yeah.
ever. And you know what the bill was, so I called them and and they said, okay, we'll investigate. Well, today, I got a letter saying, no, you were right, you didn't have a JCPenney card, you will not be charged, blah, 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 blah. But it took 6 months.
Months, wow.
Yeah.
And what sparked me looking into this and saying, hey, like I'll do a program about this if you want, was because I ordered from Shein, the first one that I talked about a couple years ago. It was really popular. I didn't think anything of it. I was like 14 or 15. And I spent my money on there and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is really terrible clothing and I don't want to be spending this much money. So I put in for a return. They said they did free returns. So I returned everything, never got my refund.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone all the time, never got my refund.
Was it terrible clothing?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was pretty awful quality, and they were also, like, people are receiving packages with blood stains and notes, like, asking for help and stuff. There's, outside of the Shein factories I know, and iPhone factories, I believe, in China, have netting around the buildings so, because people try and jump out all the time.
Oh,
Yes, it's awful.
No.
They treat them terribly.
Jeez.
It's really bad. And then Fashion Nova. This might be the one that I thought was in the US. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was. It's another discounted fashion online store facing lawsuits for suppressing negative reviews and creating false ones. They're in trouble for using fake discounts and misleading ads. Reportedly, they've committed many wage, health, and safety violations in the workplace. So anything that has like a timer for a sale technically is not really safe to follow, especially because that timer will continue to grow and get longer and longer for you to put more things in your cart thinking you're going to get a big deal on it. And then you go to check out and you're like, wait, this does not add up at all because they're trying to scam you. Anything with like, they do wheels where you can win discounts. A lot of places are doing that now, even stores you wouldn't expect, like that you would see in a mall. They're doing these things where if you open their website, there's like a prize wheel, and you tap to spin the prize wheel and it gives you a discount. Well, then you have to enter all these things and pay $5 before you can get the discount. Yeah. Yeah. What can you do? So avoid using fast fashion stores and websites. Some that you might not expect are Forever 21, Rouge 21, and H&M. And there's also been, it's not super reliable from where I saw it, but I saw a lot of stuff on social media about Hollister and American Eagle doing it too. So donate high quality items such as coats, shoes, and undergarments to shelters or clothing drives for schools, establishments, rather than secondhand retail stores. If you do choose to donate to Goodwill or Plato's Closet, avoid donating clothing pieces from the brands that I mentioned. Avoid being sucked into all the trends of being an overconsumer to limit the need for huge clothing factories and terrible working conditions. The problem with the trends and the thrift stores where you would think, oh, well, this is a really high quality item that's still in style and you donate it to thrift stores, they aren't being very ethical about it either. They're either jacking the price up so that people can't pay for it, or it sits in the store for, they keep it for so many months and then they just pitch it. They don't recycle, they don't do anything like that, so it's still just ending up in landfills, which causes a million other issues.
So Goodwill does that? They just pitch it after a while?
Goodwill is not a good place.
Yeah, no.
They jack their prices up so much.
Yeah.
Their big shots make millions of dollars. It's really, the more I've seen a few things here and there about it, it's not a,
It's really kind of disgusting to
It
think
is.
about it, because supposed to be a company that's doing this to make sure that, you know, people are able to have
Yeah.
quality clothing. Because it's not so much about style for them, it's so much about staying warm, having quality clothing that's gonna last longer. And they don't have that option anymore. Does anybody have any questions?
So what about, other, like, the Catholic one that's in, Morris? I can't think of the name of it now.
Is it like through a church? A lot of like church clothing drives and stuff, like that's where you wanna be donating the stuff to.
So
Because it
it's okay
technically-
there.
Yeah, it usually goes to like their members, or they donate it to schools directly where they can seek people out to say, oh, well, we know that you are needing something. So that's what I would suggest is donating there. Or, I'm not sure, I know that there's a lot of bins, I know there's one like at Family Dollar, like the bins where you can go and donate your clothes, like right
Yeah,
outside Family
is
Dollar.
it good?
I'm not sure, I
didn't know there was
saw
such a thing
they were
as
good,
that.
but I'm not sure where those clothes end up.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, that's the hard part, and like you go to Google it and it's really hard to find, and that's the concerning part, is it should just be, this is where it's going. And it would stink to find out that they were going somewhere like Goodwill where they're just making money off of it anyway. And like Plato's Closet, they pay you for items, but say you buy a pair of jeans for $100 and they don't do returns, so you take it brand new with tags on the Plato's Closet, well they'll offer you $5 for it and still sell it for $50.
Where's that at? Plato's Closet?
There's one in Bloomington, they're all over too, they're
They're
right up there
kind
at
of
Goodwill.
in my opinion, they're for younger women.
Oh.
What do you think?
I would think so, I know a lot of people
They're
that shop
kind of
at
a
Plato's
younger clothing available in there.
Yeah,
is
I
my
would
opinion.
agree.
But there's, I can't think of the name of the place in Lawrence either, but there's different.
St. Vincent.
St. Vincent de Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
There's different ones, Kankakee has some resale shops and, you know, different ones, and the prices are reasonable for resale, so,
And it's hard to know.
yeah.
Like it's kind of scary. It's hard to know where you're donating for. You try to do a nice thing and you don't know.
I just always thought even Goodwill, I thought they just like shipped it to Africa or something, but they don't.
I don't know.
Or Haiti, Haiti always needs clothes.
Yeah.
I think there are times where they, I know sometimes stuff comes up where people in need, where they'll collect stuff too for that specifically, but I don't think it's like a constant thing where they're donating their clothing. Because their whole attempt is to make a profit off of it, and if they're shipping it somewhere else mass amounts of it, that's just costing them money and they don't want to put up with that.
Do you ever go to Once and Again in Fairbury?
I haven't.
Yes,
I do.
yeah. And their prices have gone up and up and up, I think, but they have nice clothes, very nice
Yeah.
clothes.
Are they like a smaller, like a not a chain?
No, they're not a chain. They had a store in Pontiac
Yeah.
on the corner, and here's the courthouse, and they were right here. And I loved that store, because I kind of knew where stuff was. Well, then they moved all of that stuff down to, they had two stores, one in
Yeah.
Pontiac, one in Fairbury, and now they only have the Fairbury one. But they have that, I think, real nice.
Yeah.
And that's probably a good thing too, if they're not a
I
chain,
never
that's
asked
probably more
what
reliable.
they do if nothing sells, if something doesn't sell.
I think I have brought stuff down there, and they tell you when, but I can't remember for sure, but I think they donate it to somebody somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like big companies too, like, I know like Ulta and Sephora, like the makeup companies, and Target, when they have products that don't sell past whatever date they're supposed to sell it by, they destroy it. Like there's videos of people on TikTok being like, this is my job, and they just sit there and dump out all the products, and they pour like food over it so that people can't go and dig it out of the trash. Like they literally destroy it. Clothes, makeup, hair products, hygiene products, like they literally destroy mass amounts of product just to throw it out. So that people can't take it out of the trash and have it for free.
Wow.
Yeah.
That seems diabolical.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
And it would be so easy just to donate it somewhere. Like a
Right.
shelter or something.
Right.
especially hygiene products. I mean, deodorant isn't gonna go bad a few days after
Right.
you are supposed to sell it.
One of the things you can do, and I've taken it down to the cop shop before, they are hooked up with a women's shelter, and if you've got extra cosmetics, like you said, or deodorants or different things like that, they will take them to that place. So if a woman's there with her kids or whatever, you know, it goes right to that person. So
That's
that's a good thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's this at?
Well, it's in, I think there's one in Streeter, but
Oh,
the
Streeter.
police here,
Oh.
I talked to them before, we had some stuff left over at church, and, they took it there, so.
That's the stuff we need to find more about.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we need to market stuff like that more, but I don't think people are aware of just how bad it is.
Right.
I didn't really start looking into it until the stuff started happening with my dad's company. He was like, you guys really need to be careful with what you're ordering for, because it happened to him. I was just applying for college. I don't remember what school I was applying to. It was like a state school. It was a big school. I was applying for college. All I did was put his work email in
Oh,
for his information. Within like 30 seconds of me submitting my application, he was locked out of all of his work stuff.
No.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So like, I don't know how it's happening or how they're getting so good at what they're doing, and AI is playing a huge part in it now too. I know. It's so scary. My mom told me today that these terrible, awful people are using FaceTime, AI on FaceTime, to trick you to thinking that you're FaceTiming your child being held for ransom and using their voice and everything.
Well, they've done that without the face
Yeah.
for years.
And it's so
On the
real.
phone and stuff, and, I didn't know they were doing that part though.
It's terrifying. And my mom said that what police are saying to do is tell the person on the phone to hold up 3 fingers in front of their face. Because if you hold up 3 fingers, I guess with AI, it like distorts the face.
Oh.
So if they won't do that, that's your tell. She taught me that today.
Huh.
So I thought I'd throw that in there.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. It's all cyber stuff. It's not so much like the in-person clothing stores. It's all the online stuff.
Well, like that thing you said, JCPenney,
Yeah.
we got something, but it said from me to me.
Oh.
So if you're not even getting it from an entity or anything, I just presumed it was junk.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Read your junk mail though. This deal with Syncope, I think was the name of the company that had the credit card. It didn't say JCPenney. You had to really read it down in here to find out JCPenney. And there's hardly any JCPenney's anywhere anyway.
Right.
But yeah, that was an odd one. I've never had
Yeah.
that happen.
It's so bizarre. I don't know. I wish like I could say there's a foolproof way to keep that from happening, but I don't think there is. And especially I know Apple has gotten wrapped up in some stuff.
Did you see, I think it was it yesterday or the day before, the Swatch watch
Yes.
places? Remember Swatch watch from
Yeah.
30 years ago, it had that rubber band like thing? Well, there's
Yeah.
still Swatch watches in existence, and they had some pocket watch. It was junky looking. It had like a looked plasticky. But there were so many, they were having riots. There were so many people lined up.
That was at
to get into
Oak Brook, wasn't it?
There was one at Oak Brook. Oak Brook shut down, but there was in New York. It was all over.
Gosh.
So I couldn't believe that.
Yeah. Over a pocket watch.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was
I did see
ugly,
that.
ugly.
I haven't seen what it actually looks like, but I did see that they were rioting over this pocket watch.
That's nuts.
Yeah. It's so scary. That's my generation.
Yeah. I don't know if it might have been a generation older
Yeah.
from you, like 20s and 30s, because I think there's a lot of them's plan was to get some and then resell
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at it's called Learning Express in Naperville.
it.
It's up in there. It's like a store where teachers can buy like little toys for their kids in their classes and stuff. And some little girl was in there, and the mom was like, "Should we get your sister like a thing for her finals so that she's not so stressed during finals, and she was like, sure, get this one. She was like, no, that one's way too big, and I know those are really popular, like, let's leave that for someone who would care about it. And she was like, well, she can sell it on eBay for all I care. And the store manager was like, absolutely not. If you are planning to sell anything on eBay, do not buy it from me. Because I guess she's been having issues with people buying out her inventory and reselling it on eBay.
What a world we live in.
I know.
It's odd.
Just go to work. I mean, there are plenty of ways to make money without making everybody else's lives harder.
When my kids were little, we went to southern Texas. You could spit across the river if that was Mexico. And they had these, I don't know what they called them, but they were places where the donated clothes that nobody wanted wound up in these places, and they had mountains of clothes. I mean, mountains higher than that ceiling. And it was just all piled up, and it was eventually shredded and put, I don't know where they put it, but that's what was happening to clothes
Yeah.
that did not.
And that's the thing, where is it that do not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know how you even begin to get rid of it. I know that there was a ton of it being dumped in the ocean. I don't remember where it was, but it was
Yeah.
it was like a foreign country, it was a different country, and they had to start like a whole thing to get them to stop doing it. Because it was ending up on their shores.
Huh?
Yeah, it was really bad.
Who thought that? Let's dump it in the ocean.
I don't know.
I think
they
they
just
done that with
like-
garbage for a long time. They take it way out somewhere and
Mhm.
dump it.
But that's a stupid idea.
It is a stupid.
It's just gonna wash up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a
just
lot of
a
stuff is
workshop.
insane.
Contaminate the area.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.